Hello and welcome everyone. So in this video we will look at another front-end interview problem. So this time we will be looking at Singleton Design Pattern. We will be implementing our own Singleton Design Pattern and understanding what it is and why we need it. Singleton Design Pattern is actually a pattern where you instantiate or where you create just a single class for your just a single class and create just a single instance of that class for your entire application. Let's say you create an entire application and you create a class and you only instantiate the class at most once. You just instantiate the class at most once for your application, and that application can include um, logging. Like say you want to create a log file. Like say you want to create a log file here, and that log file is supposed to store all the logs that are there in your application. So this singleton design pattern is useful in that case because because you will instantiate the class only once, and when you instantiate the class, you will create a log file here. And whenever any logging happens, whenever any error happens, or whenever there is some kind of information that you want to store in the log file, you will just call the logger dot store or logger dot log method of that class, and it will log that data inside that single log file. So that is one example where singleton class can be helpful because like singleton class will be instantiated only once, and since it will be instantiated only once, there will only be single log file here. Another case can be you want to implement a caching. So again, there will be a separate file that will store all the cache key value pairs, and you will only create one single file, and you will always cross check whether the value that you are accessing is present inside that cached file. If it is, you will just refer that, or else you will make an API call or do some operation. It can have many other operations, many other applications like state management as well. You want to create a single file for your state management of your entire application. That is also useful for your singleton design pattern. Yeah, it has many applications, and singleton design pattern has only one property, has only one major property, that it is instantiated only once and only once. So let's try to code this up. What I've done here is I've created one instance of singleton class, and I'm logging the data. Now what I'm doing is I'm setting the data of that instance to something else, and I'm creating a new instance. I just need to confirm here that the data that I set on instance one should also be set on instance two as well, because there is essentially at the core only single instance that exists. So if I run this and if I refresh this and open DevTools, I should see one singleton instance created. And now when I change the data and I get the data of my instance 2, it should give me the new data which I set on my instance 1, because these both are essentially same instances. And when I log this as well, it returns true because these both are same instances. Now let's try to code this up. Class singleton, I'll first include constructor. And here what I'll do is I'll first check if singleton dot instance exists. If it if it does not exist, what I'll do is I'll instantiate my data to an empty string. I'll create a data property here, right? And I'll assign singleton dot instance value to this, so it does not get instantiate again. And now I'll create get data method, and get data method will just return this dot data, and I'll return create a set data method. This will take a value and this will set my data to that value. Yeah. Now I'll just save this, rerun this, and refresh this and see if it works. Okay, I'm getting false. Let's see what I did here. I created a constructor, and if not singleton dot instance, if not singleton dot instance, it will create singleton. It will instantiate the data and create singleton dot instance equal to this. And here I'll check if get data, and here I'll do set data. Let me rerun this again, refresh this again, still getting false. Get data, set data, not singleton dot instance, singleton dot instance. equal to this. Okay. Hmm. Let me see. Okay, so I missed one thing. Inside the constructor, I also need to return my singleton instance. Uh, so this is really important because like this should essentially return me something, right? So I'm calling the constructor here, and this should essentially give me something, and I was not returning anything here. So that was a mistake. So we also need to return singleton on instance here. I'll rerun this and I refresh this, and I can see it's working. Let me also like create initial value here, initial value, save this and rerun this. And we can see initial value, then new data, and instance 1 is equal to instance 2. So we are getting the output that is expected. Hope you like the video. Please let me know if there's anything in the comments. I'll see you in next one. Bye bye.